Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. We're going to start doing these player review type videos in regards to new Team of the Weeks that come out, new promos that come out. This is going to start being a consistent thing on the channel for sure. So right away, we already have 3 Portuguese players here. So, you know, if the selection choices for my Elite Rewards aren't crazy, and there's a Portuguese player there, I'm most likely going to choose the Portuguese player. Like, I don't really care about the rating, but the fun aspect of just having a Portuguese team for me is a big deal. This Guerrero card is definitely something I want to have as an untradeable. But again, it depends on if I get players like Valverde, Joshua Kimmich, or Kimmich. Even Belotti looks kind of cool in his own ways as well, especially if you give him an engine chemistry style. Danny Ings as well actually looks pretty solid in this year's game, especially with probably a hunter on this card. I think he's like 4-star, 4-star, 3-star, 4-star. Okay. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and check out each Team of the Week card. Again, if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like down below and let me know in the comment section if you guys want to see more of this stuff. So let's get started, man. We're going to go with Wilfried Zaha, who is a 5-star skiller, 5'11". This guy looks like a really cool striker. Ivory Coast links as well, Crystal Palace BPL links, which is pretty cool. Medium work rates, 5-star skills, 3-star weak foot. Base card stats look really good on this card as well. If you give him a finisher chemistry style, you're actually looking at a really fun card to use in this game. The 5-star skills obviously is an absolutely massive deal for cards in this year's game. So definitely very nice that he has those things. He doesn't have any passing capabilities, but I think you'd be mostly using this card in a 2-striker formation, lone striker formation, and just having a ton of fun with him, which is nice. 77 stamina, 79 strength, 74 aggression. Looks like a pretty good card. Danny Ings actually looks pretty solid as well with 82 acceleration. 78 for sprint speed. His base shooting stats on this card are actually very good. So if you were to give him a hunter chemistry style, you'd be boosting the finishing by a +10, the shot power by a +5, while already having a decent composure at 79, right? So with this card, hunter chemistry style, you would essentially play with him and not care too much about the dribbling because his base characteristic is gonna be like okay dribbling. It's definitely an incredibly usable card, especially for EPL teams, high work rates and whatnot. 5'10" height with a 4-star weak foot. 4-star weak foot makes a card incredibly fun to use. Obviously, the lack of skill moves is a little bit of a downfall with the card, but not really a big deal. As long as you find that one angle, shoot the ball with him on the hunter chemistry style. He actually looks kind of nice as well. He has 71 strength, 73 stamina, 86 heading accuracy. So this is a card that you could potentially use up top as a lone striker or in a 2-striker formation for sure. Player traits injury prone. Let me see what the Zaha's player traits are. Okay, so nothing crazy. Player trait. Belotti, Andrea Belotti's card. 5-star weak foot, high work rates, 5'11". That looks great on the card so far. This is the type of card where it would actually be really fun to give him an engine chemistry style because, again, his base card stats for shooting is actually pretty nice, right? So his acceleration's at an 80 sprint speed. The 78 for balance is definitely a downfall. Ball control reactions, those are things that you could potentially increase on the card. So if we actually take a look at boosting this Belotti card as much as possible, I just want to see what the engine chemistry style would give him. So with this card, an engine chemistry style would be boosting his balance, agility, pace, and passing capabilities. Maybe that wouldn't actually be the most ideal thing to do. It could be a combination of giving him a hunter chemistry style to making his shooting that good with good pace and not really caring too much about his dribbling, but just having that 5-star weak foot. Or, you don't care about his pace being super low and you give him a finisher chemistry style. While boosting the finishing as much as possible, you're boosting the dribbling a little bit too. But because his dribbling characteristics are probably going to be like whatever anyways, probably makes the most sense to give him a hunter chemistry style as well. So let's see what else we got working over here. We got David Silva for a nice little fun concept. He's not meta by any means, but if you get him as a red card, there's a couple of combinations you're going to do with this card. You're going to probably save him for an icon SBC in the future, or you just want to use him for fun because it's David Silva. Cards like this aren't necessarily hugely usable in the game this year. You can have fun with him in a 4-3-3 setup as one of your center mids, but you would need a good CDM and a good center mid next to him to really fully utilize a card. But it's definitely incredibly usable with his dribbling stats, passing stats, and shooting stats being as they are for a center mid. Next up, we have Valverde, who is definitely a meta card. for sure. This card actually looks like he'd be fantastic with, I would say potentially an engine chemistry style, actually, just because of what I'm looking at from this card so far. So it's a combination of giving him engine or a shadow. So if we take a look at this card, he's 462k on the market right now. He is, again, one of the, I'm not going to say like low tier. He's like the mid tier, because the high tier would be like obviously having like freaking Hullet and all these guys, right? But Valverde's card with a shadow chemistry style looks absolutely incredible for a player that you're going to be using in the center mid position, center defenseman position, mostly on the right side or as a lone center defensive mid. But you could also give this card an engine chemistry style to boost the dribbling stats as much as possible, giving him fantastic pace as well as a passing presence as well, because his base card stats for defending and physical actually looks pretty solid as well, considering the fact that he is a 6-foot player. So this could be a really, really fun card to have in your team that's really rotational as well, which looks pretty fun. And his shooting stats for a center mid looks great as well, or as a center defensive mid too. Next up, we have Joshua Kimmich's card, right? So 78 acceleration with 67 sprint speed is definitely a little bit of a downfall for this card. So with his card, you would definitely have to give him a shadow chemistry style to boost the pace as much as possible, because if you take a look at this card with a shadow increase, right, 88 acceleration over the 77 sprint speed is actually pretty helpful for a card like this. And he'll be that small, agile player that'll move left and right really quickly with a 4-star weak foot and high medium work rates. He could be a really fun card to use in the center mid position. The sprint speed will be a downfall for the card a little bit, but he'd still be a lot of fun with the shadow chemistry style because of the pace boost you're giving him, the defensive boost you're giving him. But he's pretty decent at shooting the ball as a midfielder and also dribbling with the ball at his feet, considering the fact that he is a 5'9" player. Physical stats, he doesn't have the strength, but he does have the 91 aggression and 97 stamina to be able to move all over the pitch, right? So a very cool, fun concept card for sure. And he's obviously got some good links as well with German Bayern Munich, so you can work with Alphonso Davies. You can put Goretzka in the team as well. So a pretty cool card in regards to that as well. Luis Alberto actually looks like he can be usable for sure. His dribbling will be a little bit off, obviously, but for me personally, for a card like this, you would probably slap, I would probably say you'd slap a Hunter chemistry style on him, right? So a Hunter chemistry style, you'd be looking at a card that has significantly improved shooting stats, a little bit of a better pace aspect on the card, but he does have the 4-star skills, 3-star weak foot, medium work rates, to be played for the fun concept in the midfield as well as a center mid, or maybe as a cam as well if you want to, you know, have fun with the Serie A team or whatnot, because I don't know what type of objectives they're going to be bringing out for all these different cards, so he could be incredibly helpful in the future as well. We're looking at these cards mostly from a red foot champs perspective, if anything, right? So the next card we have here is obviously a cool card for myself, Guerrero's card. Now, unfortunately, he doesn't have the sprint speed on this card. But the thing about Guerrero's card is that I'm not necessarily thinking about him solely as a left back in my team, because I'd probably rather use like an actual right back in the left back position with like a good weak foot or something, because Guerrero's obviously not the meta criteria. What I'm actually thinking about this card is if I were to start him on full 10 chemistry and a 5 at the back formation where he's playing as a left back on full chemistry, what I'm thinking is that a card like this being played as a center mid or a CDM in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 looks really, really fun. So let's take a look at the cards, right? Base card stats for dribbling look absolutely incredible. He's actually got a great shooting presence on the card as well. Passing on the card is phenomenal. He's got 81 stamina, which would be great in the midfield. But the biggest thing is that when you give this card a shadow chemistry style, boosting the acceleration while having dribbling stats like that is really, really nice. Defensive stats are also being increased with the shadow chemistry style because, again, if you're using him as a center mid or a CDM, he could be a lot of fun to use. So what I'm thinking right away is that this card could make a very good center mid. Now it's more me looking for CDMs for the Portuguese players. That is the most important thing. And we'll probably figure something out in the future as well, right? But next up we have the big boy player, Joe Gomez, who obviously is an absolute monster in the game this year in regards to just being a strong defensive presence. Him and Van Dijk together is brilliant, okay? Absolutely brilliant. This card is 810k. He's definitely a card that I want to get on my team, not only for the meta concept, but because he is a Liverpool player. So with this card, you see the acceleration sprint speed boosted by a +2. May not seem that significant, but it definitely is, right? You can see that there's +2s for defending, physical, and dribbling stats as well. So again, with a shadow chemistry style for this card in the center back position with medium work rate, 6'2" height, he looks like he can make a phenomenal center back in your team. Especially since the links are actually kind of like easy to work with, right? Liverpool links, English links, Premier League links. You can link him up with Alisson and just get that one direct link and then just get soft links everywhere else. This card looks really good. So based off of the red player picks that we get, we're going to see who we can get for the player reviews and such. But he looks like a phenomenal card, obviously. Definitely very meta in this game this year. Next up we have... let's see here. We have Ricardo Esgaio. Esgao? Ricardo Esgao. I've never actually seen the name Esgao for Portuguese players, so this one's definitely an interesting one. This card is a high-medium work-rated player, again, that I see mostly being used in a center-mid position if I were to buy him for fun, right? So Ricardo Esgao. I would say his name is Esgao. That's what his name is probably. With this card, right, Shadow Chemistry style, even on the Shadow Chemistry style, he actually looks like an incredibly usable right back as well, right? But what I'm thinking again with this card is the center mid position, especially with the high medium work rates. He can definitely play that right back position as a Liga NOS player really well. But this card, I don't think is going to be too expensive as he kind of like settles on the market. Like right now, he's obviously 45k, which is incredibly high. But with this card, I do see him dropping substantially, so he could be a cool concept card to use in a Portuguese team later down the road. This is a really cool card. With Anthony Lopez, in a way, I'm kind of hoping for not getting meta pulls with Kimmich or with Valverde and stuff, just so I can actually get a red version of Anthony Lopez in my team. I think that'd be really sick. He's definitely not a meta goalkeeper by any means, obviously, but he's a Portuguese player that plays in the League One, right? So with that link, I could potentially work with something in the future where I can kind of link him and Renato Sanchez together because of the center backs and the right backs being linked together as well, right? So it really just depends on how EA were to, like how they would upgrade the cards, because hopefully this year they actually upgrade Jose Font's card, because if they were to increase Jose Font's card, you know, he has like 35 pace. If they were to make it like an 80 or something, he'd be a very cool card to have in the team as well. So Anthony Lopez looks pretty cool. The other cards here, nothing too relevant except for this Paulinho card. This Paulinho card, I think, is definitely a big pull as well, especially with the concept of Anderson Talisca existing as an SBC. You could just make a really cool team where if you were to get Paulinho as a red pick, he would be a phenomenal center mid to have in your team because of the specific boosts that he's actually been given on his card. So if we take a look at his stats as well, the only thing that's lacking on the card a little bit is the 75 agility, but if he's being used as your center defensive mid or your center mid, or he's playing next to Renato Sanchez with both of them being high work rate, pushing up and down the pitch, he looks like he could be a ton of fun to use, again, with the Shadow Chemistry style. It's definitely a card that I feel like would be really cool to get as a red player pick as well for the Foot Champs reward. So an 85 rated version of his card would be sick. Paulinho is a very cool card to use in this game for sure, in my opinion. Other cards here, nothing too relevant in regards to these guys here. This guy plays for Stade Reims, which is a League One team as well. We got Bamford, who scored a hat-trick the other day against Aston Villa. Cool stuff. Ajax Traore card. This could be... this I could make into a video for the fun concept, but I don't know, he doesn't look that good. This Sergio Santos card with a 4-star weak foot actually looks kind of cool as well, because if you take a look at his card, he could be a little bit more usable with the finisher chemistry style if you're going for a fun-oriented MLS team. But the team of the week this week is actually not that bad. There's a lot of cool selections. Obviously, if you were only going for the meta concept in the game, there's not a crazy amount of options, but for the fun concept, there's definitely a lot of really cool options here as well, because I think for meta, it would be, even like just for a mid-tier meta, it would be Zaha, it would be Valverde, it would be Joe Gomez, and then that would be pretty much it. It would be Joe Gomez, Valverde, and Zaha. And then even Joshua Kimmich in a way, I think he'd be really fun to use as well, but he's not like Joe Gomez, Valverde, or Zaha in regards to what they can fully offer in the game in regards to meta and whatnot. But we'll see, man. We'll see what our selections could be for Elite. We have 3 red player picks, and then we have the actual packs as well. So we'll see what we can get from the actual packs. But that is going to conclude the video for today, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this one. If you guys are interested in these types of videos in the future, again, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. I will catch you guys for another video. I'm going to go ahead and work on the Moise Kean card. One thing I actually want to check is if they created a new SBC that I'm not aware of, just in case. So they have Inaki Williams, Malong, Talishka, Kramaric. Okay, so they don't have any new player SBCs, but they do have the objective player that is Moise Kean. I actually had no idea that Moise Kean moved on loan to PSG, which is definitely very interesting. But the card looks pretty cool, man. It's definitely a card I can do a review on. I think it'd be very interesting for some people as well, considering he is in a sense, future stars player, because I think he's still pretty young as well. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Love you guys.